So we're here. We can see we've undercoated Mephiston in Colourforge's matte black, as per usual. Now I was considering going for blue armour like a traditional Blood Angels librarian, but instead, him being chief librarian, I think he's allowed red armour. I'm kind of following the book by giving him some dark red robes. I've taken the word bearer's red and chucked in some Thondia brown to darken it down, but then the rest of the armour is done in word bearers, as we did with the other armour pieces. We can see I'm now going in with some the similar mix, same colour, just going straight over the top of the mixed colour, and that's going to give us some nice highlights. Again, we're using thin coats, and water-based acrylics means that we can just layer same colour. Now here we're wet brushing all. He's got all these really lovely muscle detail on the armour, so we're giving it like a wet brush of the same red that we used on the armour plates. So fairly similar to dry brushing, but with more paint on the brush, and that gives us a thicker colour. And we're just picking out all the armour bits like the shoulder pads. I'm still leaving the black rims to match the rest of the army. And get the backpack detail in as well. And again, we can see this is the same colour. Just layering it gives us that nice depth of colour. Really picks the shade out. But we're leaving the robes darker red. Skin tone, straight over black, death called brown. We're also going to use this for all the yellow bits. Again, just like we did with the rest of the army. Sort of and ahhing go colours here. Just picking out all the white bits with a nice grey. Now he's got much more intricate chapter icons, so this is why we're going for a grey and then completely blocking the colour in so that we can come back with a wet brush to give it more white. Nice gold. So he's got a few icons on there which we're just going to pick out. We're going to pick these out with the more brass style gold and then come over them later to give her the brighter colour. Things like the hilt on the sword, the pommel. Still consider he's got hundreds and hundreds of little skulls, so we're picking all these out in gold first, and again they'll get another layer to really bring the colour up. See here, picking out things like the skulls on top of his high collar and all the studs. Yeah, lovely model, loads of details all over it, but quite a few bits to pick out. He doesn't have a banner pole in the traditional mini, but going for banners to make it more second edition. Now I've come out with the grey here. I was and ahhing going for blonde to match the rest of the army, but partially with him being chief librarian and a named character, I've gone for grey. I'm going to pick all the metal bits out as well while we're here. These are done with dry brush, but very specific, and that gives us that lovely ribbon on all of the pipe work. Quite straightforward. Still debating like the sword colour. Traditionally he had a silver sword, but I'm thinking green. While I decide We'll start picking out all the pouches, the holsters. This is Thondir Brown, like we did with the rest of the army. And then picking all the bone bits out in Rakarth Flesh. It's a lovely sort of like dark bone colour, which we can highlight up. Quite straightforward. If you've seen any of the other videos, you'll see sort of the theories behind the colours. But by using extra layers, gives us that bit extra highlighting. See, we're picking out all the gems like we did with the rest of the army. Lovely warpstone glow. And then got a War Flesh out. So we're going to go for green for the sword. So starting with War Flesh, which is really dark green. Then we're going to start mixing warpstone in, because that'll give some coherence between the sword and all of the gems. And also stand out from the power weapons across the army, which are all done like the plasma weapons in this turquoise. While it's still wet on the palette, I'm going to mix some white in. Just pick out all the icons and then we'll mix that into the blue once it's dry. So you see we're picking out all of the feathers. You can just about make out there. It gives us a nice layering effect. Things like all the vials he's got, get a dabbing of the white paint, and that gives it more of a glass effect. See what's wet on the palette? We're mixing in some of the blue, the turquoise. We're just picking out the coils on the plasma pistol. Here we've got War Flesh and Warpstone. So we're effectively going to wet brush and put a big coat of War Flesh on at the bottom. Put a coat of Warpstone at the top, and then just start, with plenty of water, start bringing them together. That'll give us a nice blending effect. Sort of glowing towards the top. And while it's wet, we're going to just mix in some yellow. Oh, some Warboss green, I think this is. This same green that we use on the basin, but just using this for edge highlighting to really give a sharp edge colour. That will help pick out the fact that it's a force sword. Picking out some highlights in brown. And some tidy up of the silver bits. And tidy up with the gold bits. So you're picking out all these individual studs. Yeah. Mixing in some yellow into the green. And that is going to be him just about done. So yeah. As always, thanks for watching. Be nice to hit likes and comments and do all the YouTubey things. But all in all, have fun.